hard to top that. You know, a couple of observations. As hard as it is for me to believe right now, I'm in my 23rd year of elected office. And when I was first elected in 1981, it was because the city government in Santa Cruz was ignoring the neighborhoods. And it was really trying to make sure that there was neighborhood involvement in the city hall at the decision-making level. But that was also true of working people. Because at the time, the city budget was balanced on the back of 100 temporary workers, one of which that ran the Harvey West Pool and had worked for 8 years in temporary status full-time, and was required to take 1 day off every year to keep it legal. And she had no benefits, no sick leave, and we really arrived and ran to try to make a change in that. And the interesting thing is there are 90 precincts inside the city of Santa Cruz, and in each time I ran, I walked 30 of them personally. And that made all the difference in the world. I carried some precincts that were really considered unconventional carries. And so what you're doing today is going to make all the difference in the world. You've got to go to every door. They've got to see a smiling face, and that is going to be something that turns this election. Additionally, one of my most favorite memories from that first campaign was at 5:30 in the morning, going down to greet everybody that was going to put a door hanger on doors on election day, and there was a traffic jam at 5:30 in the morning, and I couldn't park but 3 blocks away from where they were distributing them. And that's when I knew that things were probably going to go well that day. And this tells me some very good things about the John Leopold campaign, because there's that kind of broad-based interest, there's that willingness to go to every door and to tell people in a way that it'll turn the election. And the other observation I've had to make that's really interesting is that, you know, I have served with hundreds and hundreds of people, whether it's been in the legislature or on the Cabrillo board or in the city council, and you learn that whether or not they're going to be a good elected official is really decided about who they were before they were elected to office. And if they sort of worked their way up, understanding neighborhoods and feeling personally the neighborhood issues, or understanding working people and feeling that you have to remember why you're there, and that people that work hard every day for their money need fairness in the process, and somebody that will remember them and hear them and sort of take their voice forward. That's really significant. Somebody that's results oriented, somebody that actually will work with people and have them come into their office and talk with them and genuinely hear them out. All those things are what makes a successful elected official. All those things are sort of determined before somebody gets there. And luckily, all those things are reflected in John Leopold very clearly. If you just look at his history of working for working partnerships, or when he and I were on the Cabrillo board together, I just thought, I worked really hard for the faculty, and I worked really hard for sort of the fact that it was the safety net for higher education. But when I got on the board, there weren't a lot of people that were paying attention to the classified employees at Cabrillo and the fact that they turned out the report cards. They did everything. No payroll was done unless they did it. And somebody needed to just make sure that in a closed session where the public wasn't there, somebody was there to say, are they getting the same break everybody else is getting when we go through all these labor contracts? And that's also what we're electing right now in this district, because it is rare that there is a change in the Board of Supervisors. It is rare that there's an opening. Jan Gibbs has been in this seat for 20 years, and except for a 1.5-year hiatus, Dan Forbes was in this seat for 20 years before her. We are witnessing a momentous moment, which is a change and the opportunity to influence a change that will just be there in all the decisions going forward. Will neighborhoods be heard? Will working people be represented? Will human services be something that we make sure the county delivers in a very good way, in a responsive way, in a complete way? And so that's why this election is important. And I think, as usual, the moneyed interest might be going to another candidate. And so it really means that the shoe leather, the going to every door, the putting ourselves out in the time, is the investment that will make the difference that just redounds in the next 4, 8, 12, or 16 years. And so this is one of the most important races, and the work that we do individually is going to be among the most important things we do. So I just say thank you for being out here today. Thank you for working. And the amount of work in the days and the weeks up until the election will be something that will pay itself back in ways that you can lean back a little bit and enjoy what Supervisor Leopold does on the board, because my bottom line is will somebody do the right thing when sort of left alone by themselves in a room? Whether it's in a courthouse or a public building or something, he's one of those people. It's rare. So I apologize for the fact that I'm due at Monterey Peninsula College at 11 o'clock and I have to hightail it out of here. But as I'm fond of saying, for at least another 6 months, I'm a funder of the Highway Patrol. And I will hope for good consideration. But meanwhile, I really appreciate your consideration in being out here and working together, and I think we have a chance for a big victory in this seat that we will all love and will pay us back in many ways. So thanks for coming out, and on to victory with John. We're lucky to have him as a candidate.